off the train all alone at dawn, back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never raised the night to me. The blood on the tracks suddenly must be mine.
Look at Mbappe, three wide going into school.
Mbappe does it! Oh, what a move! What a
Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean?
puts himself in the history books. He is, without a doubt, the man of F1XL, but now he's a three-time F1XL champion. He's brilliant.
For what you believe, so open up your fist, no you won't receive the thoughts and the words of every man you'll need. Step off the train all alone at dawn, back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never raised the night to me. The blood on the tracks suddenly must be mine.
Look at Mbappe, three wide going into school.
Mbappe does it! Oh, what a move! What a move!
All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean?
Puts himself in the history books. He is, without a doubt, the man of F1XL, but now he's a three-time F1XL champion. He's brilliant.
For what you believe, so open up your fist, no you won't receive the thoughts and the words of every man you'll need.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why I always say ladies and gentlemen. I think I need to change my intro to maybe races or something. That's not the best way to start the stream. But hello and welcome to the F1XL Singapore Round 10, Season 16. It's getting long, these intros. I think I'm definitely gonna have to. Maybe I should just pass over to Ollie for the intros. Ollie, welcome back to. It's becoming a regular occurrence now, a Sunday and a Tuesday. We've got ourselves a dynamic duo set up for a while, whenever you can do it. But how are you, and are you looking forward to this, I think, our first night race of the season, or have we done Bahrain?
Not yet, no. This will be our first night sit we've done together. Sounds like we're a married couple by now, Gareth, with all the comms we've been doing together. But yeah, thank you for having me in Singapore. Like you said, it's another challenging circuit. After Monaco last week, we're really putting the drivers in the deep end with two difficult Grand Prix to negotiate back-to-back.
Yeah, it is. So it's a massive sector of the calendar we've got this season is very street orientated, or close quarters. I think Hungary is another. It's the race after this one, so everything's looking really well set to be quite a close run thing for the next couple of races. But Singapore, there's a few more overtaking opportunities, and strategy plays in a little bit more here than Monaco. It's not you have to be on top at Monaco. Here you can try a different strategy and it sometimes works out. And the added bonus of rain, if it is raining in the race, I'm not going to believe Sloppy if he's there. If it is raining in the race, then you can do the whole race on one set of full wet tyres if it's the wets through all the way through. So that plays into people's minds as well. But it's great to see 17 and possibly 18 drivers if Viper gets in here for this week's race. And that will throw maybe, obviously with Binary, like a resurgence from the Ferrari driver. But with Viper here, as Jolly goes quite wide around the Singer's Paw sling, do you think that would affect Binary, like in a mental state, from what you've seen this season?
I'd hope that Binary, if he have another great competitor, Viper, come in, it wouldn't affect him too much. But you never know with these drivers; the smallest of things can affect them. So I'd hope he does come in just to see what sort of reaction we get from Binary and whether he can still stay on top. I mean, I know he didn't win last week, but that was just unlucky with the rain and everything that happened at Monaco. So I'm interested to see whether Viper gets in here. I mean, if he does, I believe he'd start at the back though, wouldn't he? Because he's not done qualifying.
Well, there is. I've just seen Jolly lose his wing, and I think that would Prophet Meady lost a bit of the wing as well. There is a glitch with that, but it seems like it has been fixed now, and I do trust Pred, and Pred says it's dry throughout, which means we might see people do a fair few different strategies here. Some will want to start on the mediums, and some will want to definitely start on... Oh no, I've got the engine glitch on Pred's car. Oh, I'm sorry, Pred, I cannot go on board with you. And Xbox Nuthead has has done something wrong with his lap time. Let's go on board with Sinful Chris, and he's messed up his lap time. That's another thing that's going to be big here, because there is more corner cutting over. As similar as it is to Monaco, there is a load of differences as well. As Master Swain goes 135, 444, but I am on board with last week's race winner Straka, so it's his first in F1. But Niels manages a 137.2 on the mediums, which is the same tyre that Straka's on. Now, I believe people will be doing a one-stop here, but we could ask them in the chat what they're doing, but they'll probably tell us wrong information.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did, to be fair, with some of the drivers trying to trick us and trick the audience. And of course the other drivers, because some of the drivers do watch the stream, don't they? So I'm sure they won't give us the true information. One thing I wanted to point out, Gareth, was Master Swain currently on pole by just under 2 seconds. But after last week's disappointment, I mean, what can he do differently this week to try and top and get ahead of Binary? I mean, with the DNF last week, and now he's really closed in on the championship lead. I mean, what do you think Master Swain can do differently this week?
I think Swain's just got to go back to the mentality of just finish the race. Like, if he can stay top 5, top 6, whatever he needs to do, just to get himself back into the swing of things, as Straka puts a cracking lap time in on the mediums, a 136.2, and his teammates only half a second down on him on the same compound tyre. But yeah, Master Swain's just got to get himself back into the mindset of just finishing close to those guys, and then just pick his way through that way, as Xbox Nuthead goes provisional 4th with a 136.7. Yeah, I think Swain is a conundrum that we weren't used to. We're not really used to in the league, because he's meant to be a tier 2 driver, but obviously everyone in F1 is a quick paced anyway, as we'll go on board with now Pred, his teammate. Sorry if that was a bit poppy. Yeah. And answer to your question, I don't know what Master Swain really needs to do. I think he's just got to get out there and try and rediscover his form that he had.
Yeah, well, hopefully he does. But it's going to be a long race in Singapore, isn't it? I mean, 23 corners, the walls aren't far away either, and Binary finally comes out. And that's what I'm looking forward to, whether Binary can match Master Swain, because Master Swain is just under a second ahead of everyone else on the grid. I mean, he is on the soft tyres compared to the lot on the medium, so I'm looking forward to see what the Ferrari can do as he comes out the pits.
I think, to be honest, I think a few people have just set banker laps early on, and I don't think we need to... it's very easy to praise a lap time this early on, but I think everyone else... It's this track, I don't quite believe the times this early on. I'm not sure if it's just me being over cynical, but I think obviously towards the end of qualifying we'll obviously see what the best pace of people are, but I think that's flattering Master Swain just a little bit this early stage, and obviously with the likes of Sinful Chris and Binary, but they're on medium compound tyres, as is Pred, so we're not going to see a true representation.
Yeah, a few runners on the mediums, aren't there? Yeah, I need to get off Binary because he's got the audio glitch. That's not very pleasant to hear in my ears. Yeah, I'm interested to see the strategy now. Some on the mediums, whether they're like you said, banker laps, or they're going to stay on those medium tyres for the start of the race.
So Pred somewhere along the lines, I think that is just into sector 2, has disqualified his lap time, messed his lap time up, and we have got Viper in the lobby, so he's I think in the Williams now. Just want to make sure everything is on my end. So yeah, Pred invalidating his lap time. Family Guy has this is going to be a big problem for us, isn't it? Trying to find someone who hasn't invalidated their lap time. Sloppy Cop. Let's see what Sloppy can do in the McLaren. And I didn't realise how bad it was for invalidating lap times around Singapore. Do you think this means then we're going to have a fair few penalties, in your opinion?
Oh, 100%. I mean, the last time I did this race thing, I got about 21 seconds worth of penalties. So, but then again, I'm not very good at the game. But I definitely think penalties will come into play in this Grand Prix, 100%. And we've seen any street circuit, it's a given almost. As Sinful Chris has gone fastest in the middle sector, Gareth, as well as he comes round the final corner, tricky final corner as well, because you don't want to go too wide around here and get onto the goal, because that can invalidate your lap as well. But he goes second, 3/10 off pole on the medium tyres as well. So good job from Chris there.
Yeah, that's a cracking lap time from Chris, and well, within 3/10 of Master Swain on the slower compound tyre. Binary goes fastest in sector 2. Yeah, I really need to not look at the chat. I've had the FPS glitch. Are you aware of an FPS glitch? I thought FPS was first person shooter, so I'm a bit...
FPS. Frame...
and Binary has just invalidated his lap time on the last corner.
I see. He said if you go wide there, it can invalidate a lap.
I need to see what lap time that was, because he was quick. So 1:36 dead. So that's actually slower than Sinful Chris out of all that. I don't think he would have lost that much time for it. So maybe, I don't want to say maybe a bit of a weakness from from Binary, because that's a little bit harsh of me, I think. But here comes Master Swain, purple in sector 2 again for the Red Bull driver, and he's flying his way through. Or maybe he wants to start. And for Singapore, I don't really know where the best... Obviously, you want to start as high up as possible, but sometimes it's nice to be in the 4th or 5th position on the slower compound tyre. But I'm not sure if that's going to work here as well as people think it might.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to start mid-pack if we look at what happened to to Max Verstappen last year or the year before at this circuit. So I'm not sure I agree with you. Starting in mid-pack at the circuit, start close as the front as possible, personally. But with strategy, I mean, I'm interested to see how long the drivers on the softs and mediums will go for, and whether we see the hard tyres come out at all in this Grand Prix.
Sorry, my headset just died. It's always great to have technical difficulties right at some point on this show. If it doesn't happen, we know that there's something wrong with the show. But Gunhead has gone fastest in Sector 2. So did you ask a question while I had technical issues?
No, I was just highlighting. I'm interested to see what strategy these guys do with the softs and mediums, and whether anyone will risk it on the hard tyres at the back. We always see some sort of interesting strategy from one of the guys at the back, and it's most of them just sort of work out. Here's Cam has retired from the session. Whether that's a crash, I don't know. But Binary is still in the pits and still hasn't done a lap, so see what he can do.
So Binary and Stracker's retired from the pit lane, it looks like. So Stracker is happy with his lap time on those softs. He's not going to go any faster. But let's go on board with the Williams of Prophet Meady, the victor of round 1 at Baku. So another street circuit, similar-ish to this track, really. Maybe he's hoping for some good luck to come his way. He's fastest in Sector 1. He's had... Oh, and he's lost it. Oh, I feel like a commentator's curse on that one, unfortunately. But he's lost it there. I think that was through the turns... Well, just at turn 8. And I'm sure there's someone else. See if we can go on board with his semi-teammate, ERL Viper, for the teammate for today's race, as he's going quick through the old Singapore sling. He's got his teammate right in front of him. He's going to want to get out of his way, which he does. And he's now got Family Guy at the hairpin on the slower compound tyre, and I think Family Guy is on a lap. Oh, he's on an out lap. Ooh. I wonder if that's going to cause any problems at all.
I was going to say, yeah, he looks like he's on an out lap, but the other drivers are on their hot lap, so he's been a bit of a nuisance there, but not getting too much in the way there. He's got out of the way, and he's just going to have enough time to get around anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much. One thing of note, though, Gareth, Jolly's retired with no lap time at all, and he'll start likely in last place.
Well, that is not good at all. Let's see, Gunhead has messed his lap time up. I wonder if he'll go again. But the Viper did get, I think, maybe a little bit disorientated or something with that. Was a McLaren, sorry, a Family Guy in his way, which could cause him some problem. Let's go on board with Light Shock then. Light Shock is in 13th at the moment, but look at this, 5 drivers not setting a lap time, and it looks like Pingers has come out just ahead of his teammate, so maybe a tow down the long straight with a technically turn 6 in the middle of it. It's a bit like the Russia turn 1. It's not really a turn, it's just a slight curve. But what do you think of this then, with 5 drivers struggling to have set a lap time?
Yeah, they're leaving at last minute, aren't they? And the fact that it's a long circuit to get round and in the pits and everything at here in Singapore, so risking it at the end, aren't they? Hopefully they can all get out. Binary's on a lap now. I was on board with him, and he's currently going round. So hopefully they all get a lap time in, bar Jolly, of course, who's retired. But Lightshock was quickest in Sector 1. I think that tow massively helped him down that straight, but he's not quicker in Sector 2. So what can Lightshock do as he comes into the last sector before the tunnel here? Hopefully he doesn't bin it through here like we've seen quite a few drivers in real life do.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth at the moment. He could have taken a bit more speed, possibly, through 18, but I don't think we're going to judge him too harshly, considering he's about 7 seconds a lap quicker than I am. But here he is then, Light Shot coming round. clips it perfectly, and it's P3 for Light Shock, and it's Master Swain then, the only one in the top 3 on a set of softs. He's just about to start his lap time. Can he go any quicker? I think he will probably try, to be honest, just to keep himself in the picture. Here comes Binary, will be starting last at this rate because he has invalidated his other time there. Let's have a look at Turkey's then. Turkey's coming through, and he goes incredibly wide at the old Singapore sling, and he's given up on his lap time. Sloppy then, he is on a lap time. Simple Chris retires in P2 on a set of mediums. Now, we're going to have a quick talk about the strategy once qualifying is over, because there is some really weird strategy calls being made today. And into P2 goes Sloppy Cop. So there is Master Swain. Oh no, wait, he's on mediums. So he is quicker than anyone else on mediums at the moment. I thought he was on softs. Let's go on board with Pingers then. Pingers, can the Alpha Tauri sister car produce anything? He is fastest in Sector 2. Is he nearly
A lot of drivers doing well in Sector 2, aren't they? They're getting a lot of purple sectors from the drivers, but then there's mistakes in the final sector that mess them up, and they can't do anything to keep up with Master Swain's Sector 3 time.
It's going to be an interesting one. Pingers then taking as much of the curb as he can through 20 and 21, and he comes into P5. So AlphaTauri 4th and 5th respectively. Some weird strategy calls nonetheless, and Family Guy then on the mediums. He's finishing his lap time. No one else will have a lap time, and he's going into the pits. So that is qualifying done and dusted. And I wow. So soft, medium, soft. What is with all these strategy calls? So strategy is going to play a huge part in this qualifying. And hopefully, Ollie, give us a great race.
I'm hoping so. It's got to be. And if you look as well, the two big shocks here, that Viper and Binary out of the back of the grid here, so they're going to be on missions to send it into turn 1 and get as high as they possibly can at the start of this Grand Prix. So you've got a mix of guys at the top with different strategies who are very quick, and you've got guys at the bottom who are very quick as well. So it's the perfect mix, and the fact that this track is close, the drivers are so close to the barrier as well, it's just the perfect recipe for a good race.
Or a perfect recipe for disaster. That's a cynicalness in me. But it is Master Swain on pole. This is what he needs as a comeback from Monaco, with Sloppy Cop alongside him. Sinful Chris in P3 and Light Shock in P4. In P5, it's F1XL Pingers with his highest qualifying of the season. And P6 alongside him is Straka R11. SF Pred is in 7th, Family Guy 8th, Prophet Meady in 9th, and TES Gunhead in 10th. Outside in 10th to 18th order is Madman, Nuthead, Cam, Niels, Viper, Turkeys, Jolly and Binary, and the bottom 4 didn't set a lap time. Now, I know that if you join in qualifying, that your lap time doesn't get set. I have heard rumours that they've actually fixed this. Whether they have or not is a massively... I don't know. It's Codemasters. But Ollie, with people not setting a track time, especially for people who have got the pace like Binary and Viper and Jolly, we've all seen it this season. Mm-hmm. Do you think that gives them an advantage because they're starting at the back on fresh tyres against the likes of Light Shock and Master Swain at the front?
I'd say if it was at a traditional track, yeah, potentially. But at this circuit, 23 corners, it's difficult. It's tight, it's twisty, not at all. I think they're at the real disadvantage being at the back. The only saving grace they've got is, like you said, having fresh tyres and an option to try something completely different by going even on the hard tyres. Whether it's quicker, I don't know. But they have to pull something out of the bag if they want to get near that podium today, and I'm sure they're going to hope for a disaster or safety cars or whatever, so it's going to be tricky for them, and I'm interested to see what they do compared to the top guys here in Singapore today.
While we wait, I'm going to have a really crudely done picture of the F1 standings up on the stream at the moment. So Binary is only 27 points behind Master Swain now. And Stracker R11, after his victory in Monaco, has put him up to third ahead of Lightshock. In the constructors side of F1, Red Bull are leading the way with AlphaTauri, and Ferrari are only just picking themselves off the bottom after losing Astro and signing Binary. But overall, Ferrari definitely making an improvement, with McLaren leading the way by 46 points to Red Bull. Is that a shock to you with McLaren leading the way after we haven't seen them really dominate in the F1 standings?
No, I'm pleasantly surprised to see McLaren up there. It's been a long time since been up there, and I mean, I don't know too much about the other leagues we've got, but it's good to see, that bright orange and blue car up the top.
It is nice. I do like it. It is a nice feeling. But the 29 seconds until we get the formation lap underway. So I'll remove the crudely done standings for the stream, and let's go with who you think is going to take victory here at Singapore today.
Who I think will win is Master Swain. Who I want to win is Sloppy Cop, because there will be another different winner. But I think Master Swain is too quick.
Let's go on board then with Sinful Chris. I'll go on board with Sinful Chris for the start to see how things go. Let's go with positional changes as that as well. Now, after Sinful Chris told me he was not confident about this track, he's put himself quite high up the board. People are, it's apparently a two-stop strategy here. Medium to soft to medium is what that's telling Sinful Chris to do on the stand. Whether that will work or not is beyond me. But there are hard starters for Binary, Viper and WRS Cam. So Viper actually starts behind Binary. But Binary technically has to do a last to first challenge to catch any points onto Master Swain, because Swain is currently leading. Well, he will be leading this race as soon as the lights go out, and that's going to be some tough order to ask, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, during qualifying, that after last week's performance from Master Swain, he must be very happy right now to see Binary at the back of the grid compared to last week where he had a nightmare and Binary finished well, almost 3 wins in a row. But Stracker, came out of nowhere and managed to stop Binary getting the triple win. So Binary and Viper are going to have a challenge on their hands today, and they're both on the hard tyre, so they're in for the long run. And I'm sure they're hoping for some safety cars as the race progresses.
So I think Swain has got it in his mindset that he has to get a gap early on in this race, so he doesn't come out of the pits but behind them. He would want to come out pretty much dead on them. So I think you know where I'm coming from on that. And considering he told me he's not going to have a good race, I'm going to try and curse him with my commentator's curse and say, I think actually Sinful Chris, I know you've gone for Sloppy. I think Sinful Chris might be one to take victory here today. I think Swain on the soft strategy at the start might cost him, but I think the podium will stay the same. I think it will be in that order. It will be that top three, but in a weird order, I guess.
Yeah, as the drivers are all lined up and just waiting for Viper at the back, and we'll be ready for lights out here in Singapore.
Oh, there's a Mercedes going slow as well, and number 58.
Yeah, Rogue Mercedes, yeah.
That's not going to help the tyres. Oh, pardon me. Sorry, not going to help the tyres. That was a Impromptu burp coming from nowhere. Let's go with Sinful Chris then. Come on, give me a good camera angle. Oh, it's not the best, to be honest, but 4 lights, 5 lights for this Singapore Grand Prix, and it's held for a long time, and away we go. It looks like Sloppy actually has a really good start, and he might take the lead into turn 1, and I think he has. Sinful Chris is holding out, and there's Red Bull who touched the... I think it was Renault Stracker there. Stracker's dropped down, and Lightshock's up to P4. Pingers is still battling away, but Master Swain is down to P3, sorry. He's dropped another position out of all that, and I think he's just had a wide exit for 2. And now Sinful Chris is going to have a look up on Sloppy, but it's not going to happen, and Binary's up a position already. Did I miss anything down below?
Not really. There's lots of argy-bargy between Gunhead, Family Guy, Pred and Madman. They're using their cars as bumper cars at the moment. It's not the cleanest of racing as Family Guy gets back up the inside of Gunhead, coming down towards the mid of Sector 2. Just a note that Jolly, Viper and Binary are all up on their positions off the start as well, which is key for those drivers.
It is key indeed, and it's saying it's a 2-stopper for Family Guy on those mediums as well. So looking very much that is the case for this race, as Binary being stuck behind the other 2 hard runners is probably not what he would have wanted at all. But Master Swain has dropped from the leaders quite significantly, to be honest. And I don't think he's picked up damage. There's no damage on that Red Bull, but you can see he's clearly pushing everything on this track as Stracker's getting quite close to the back end as well of Lightshock in P4. As another, I've never seen so many predicted pit stop strategies come up in a race this season, let alone in a singular race, and I have done in this race. It is only lap 2 of 31. Even though it did say DRS is open. I don't know why it's done that, because we are on lap 2, aren't we?
Yes, we are on lap 2. I'd get on board if I was you with Family Guy and Pred. They're having a great ding-dong for the last points playing position. Sorry, 9th and 10th, and Family Guy goes to the outside. Not going to be able to go around this time. Don't think so, as the Red Bull... I say that, they're going to go side by side into turn 5 as well. But tricky corner to do any overtaking through there. Just want to make a note though, Gareth. Master Swain, we've never seen him make a good start. It's always gone backwards.
Sorry, Pred's lost the part of his front wing after fighting with Family Guy. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. He's always bogged down a little bit at the start, and he's playing catch up a little bit, which is not great. And I do hate it when they mess up now Madman's going around the outside of Pred into turn 14. It was very, very close, but Pred is going to have to nurse that car back to the pits. He's not going to want to stay on those tyres, well, with all that damage as well. Let's go with Xbox and Nuthead. He's so close to the back of it, and this is going to leave a train. Now, Sloppy's just pulling away up in front. Now, if I was Pred, would you think about maybe holding up? Oh, he's not being able to take the pit lane at all properly, and it's held Xbox Nuthead up with WRS Cam trying to go around the outside. I was going to ask whether you thought Pred would hold out and hold some of these drivers up so Swain didn't have to worry about the likes of Binary, Viper and WRS Cam.
But that's not happened, and they're on their own game here. But Xbox not in trouble here. Got held up by Pred earlier. Cam got the inside. No, he's not close enough. But yeah, Pred. I mean, especially with such a high downforce circuit, Gareth. I mean, having half a front wing or missing end plate is so detrimental to the driving, and it's so difficult at the circuit. So Pred needed to get in as quickly as possible, get onto a harder set of tyres and just get his head down. Luckily, people aren't too far away at the moment, and I'm sure we'll have a safety car at Singapore. It's almost 100% guarantee at this circuit with how close the barriers are.
Pred wasn't the only one who has pitted. Gunhead has as well in the Racing Point. And yeah, it's a shame for those two, but like you say, we have been known to have safety cars in F1 for no reason at all. And I'll tell you what, Pingers is holding people up as well. So there's 2 separate trains through all this, and this could cause massive problems. I will just quickly go to the leaders. At the moment, Binary's 15 seconds behind Sloppy, and that's Prophet Meaty into the pits on the softs. He does not like those at all, and that's it, he's in. So that is really detrimental to Binary at this time. Being on those hard compound tyres, do you think he's made a mistake?
I think it's too early to tell. I really think there's as the other guys start to lose time, I think Binary will come into play. I really do. Same with Viper, who's he's behind at the moment. I don't think they're out of it yet. It's too early to tell. It's a long old race, Singapore. 31 laps you've got, and I wouldn't count them out just yet. It's a long old race.
As Lightshock has just passed Master Swain for P3 as well. So those softs are not liked around this track at all. And well, it was kind of an easy move, really, when you think, not that I caught all of it, but it looked relatively easy, and Swain's not being able to keep up with Lightshock at all. And just for the pure grip of it, Jolly then... what is going on with it? It's a massive train behind Jolly, it looks like, and Binary is stuck with Viper there. But you could be right. I say you could be right. I think you are actually right with it being very far too early to say. We got 31 laps, so another 27 to go really of this race, and still far too early to tell. Master Swain stays out as well, so he's just trying to go as long as he can, and with technically Binary being his main title rival, do you see him staying out longer on these softs to make his medium runs more bearable?
I think he might do, as we've got a bit of a ding-dong between Family Guy, Pingers and Madman. It's a great little battle. The 2 abreast coming into turn number 5. Who's going to come out on top? There's DRS open for the Mercedes at the back of this queue. Can he overtake both of them coming into turn 6 and 7? I think he's going to be too far back. Does he dive up the inside? No, he does not. But I think, yeah, he will stay out a little bit longer than he would normally. But I'm interested. I'm a bit confused why he did qualify on the soft, because we only had 3 soft runners to start off with, while everyone clearly the medium tyre is the better tyre. Master Swain wanted grid position at the start, and it's not worked out for me. Down to 4th, and we've only done 5 laps. So whether the soft options were a good idea, I personally think is a mistake.
Binary has just jumped Jolly and Viper. It all caught on stream. I wanted to let you finish that sentence, to be honest. But yeah, Viper and Jolly came together. So Viper's actually stayed in the same position, but Binary's caught 2 places out. There was a little bit of collision between Jolly and Viper. And yeah, it's let Binary through, and Binary in free air, which is exactly what he would have wanted, and Jolly nearly lost it. And he's now side by side with Niels, and he's dropping down the order a little bit. And this, well, I think this might not be the track for him after quite a decent run last time out at, I say last season, but everything's a little bit different now. Master Swain's into the pits, as is Jolly. And Pingers is into the pits. He's going onto a set of mediums. Master Swain's already come out, and he is, I'm going to say, quite a fair whack behind Binary now. And Sinful Chris is actually catching Sloppy as well. Those 2 are side by side at the end of Sector 1 into Sector 2 at turn 7. But the Lightshock has caught them up as well, and the battle for the lead is heating it up. And
I was just about to say, yeah, it's really getting hot now, isn't it? That's what I'd love to see. Lap 6, top 3 are within a second of each other.
What these guys, I'm going to say clearly, these guys will go to hards at the end of the Grand Prix. Do you think, I don't know if there's enough pace difference between the hards and the mediums for the mediums to be superior at the end of the race. But obviously these guys, week in, week out, have proved us wrong, so it could be proved wrong again. But Simple Chris is all over the back of that McLaren for the lead.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He's got to be careful. He's got a VSC has just come out. Who's made a mistake on circuit? I'm not sure.
It's Jolly.
Someone near the back. Jolly. So Jolly having problems once again, and he is out of the Grand Prix. I'm not sure where he's binned it, but it's gone from bad to worse for him, as we saw a few moments ago, Gareth.
It's a shame for the champion of last season and the season before, but so, as harsh as it sounds, sometimes these things have to come to an end, and his reign is looking like it might be over unless he can really find something to get together. And the virtual safety car is still out, and Sinful Chris is trying to go side by side with Sloppy Cop under racing again, and that's a really wise move from the Alfa Romeo driver, and they're side by side through 7. Sloppy's trying not to give him any space at all. They just touch, and Simple Chris has to hold. Wow, that was very, very close, and Sloppy is on full defensive mode, but he's managed to keep the lead. And there is a certain last week's winner waiting in the wings, just 1.6 seconds behind, to try and capitalise on if any of these three have issues.
Yeah, it was extremely close there between Sloppy and Chris, and good racing from the both of them, but they were close, and luckily Chris didn't lose too much time, and Lightchuck hasn't got past him as of yet. But like you said, Straka is really closing them down now. It's 1.6 a few moments ago, and now it's down to 1.2. So the Renault driver is on a mission, and it looks like we're going to have a 4-way fight for the race lead in the next lap or so, which is exactly what we want in the commentary box to have. Looking further down though, Master Swain, he's in clean air. That's one good thing he needs, because he needs time to himself and just time to go at it and try and catch up with the likes of Turkeys, Niels and Viper, who are on a different strategy.
If we look at it in all honesty, he's only, I think, 10, maybe 11 seconds behind Binary. And when you consider it's a 28 second pit stop here, he pulled a really good gap out at the start of this Grand Prix. So obviously he's going to have definitely a different strategy involved, and he's just set the fastest lap of the race. So he's definitely pushing that Red Bull, and he's in a lap, he's taken 3 seconds out of Turkey. So he's definitely a man on a mission, and it'll be interesting to see how he handles a different type of pressure than we've seen him come through before. But Madman up into P6 at the moment, just behind Family Guy. I'm not on board with it, but it's looking very, very... There's a few tasty battles throughout, and WRS Cam is just behind Binary's teammate of Xbox Nuthead. And obviously Cam, with a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately for Cam, is on the hard compound tyre, which is the same as Binary. It's really, really difficult to choose how this one's going to play out with so many different strategies. Yeah,
definitely is. Cam's got... Oh, that's a mistake from Nuthead. He's binned it at turn 14, gone deep, and he's dropped down 4 places. I was about to say that it's good to see Nuthead in the points, which he hasn't had the best season so far, and then of course he then binned it at turn 14. So I'm glad I didn't say that, because commentator's curse would strike again. But I'm sure he's fine. No damage on that front wing, so he can keep on going. It looks like for Nuthead. So he's still one up on where he started at the moment, as Madman gets a 3-second penalty. And Gareth, we already mentioned that penalties are really going to come into play in this Grand Prix, and we've had tons already.
Yeah, there's been so many come through, and it's difficult to keep just to keep a track of it at times. But Madman is doing his uttermost to get past the McLaren in front of him. But Family Guy is just not backing down. But it's about 15 seconds between Sloppy and Binary, and that's kind of the pace we want to be seeing about, or the time difference, because obviously with the title race flying on, there's a yellow flag in sector 1. What is... Virtual safety car. What's happened here?
Can't see at all. The only
It's
person
Pred. Pred's
There's
gone.
no one in Sector 1. Pred. There we go. He did say earlier that he'd had a problem with his game when he loaded it up, so I don't know whether he's managed to fix that or if he's quit. I'm really not sure what happened with the other Red Bull driver, but that's not ideal for Team Red Bull here at Singapore.
No, and I will go on board with Gunhead as he goes through to see if we can see a stricken Red Bull and how it's angled. Unfortunately, the car's not there anymore. But Simple Chris receives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But look at this, he's doing the same as he did the lap before. Very defensive from Sloppy, and Simple Chris is not able to get through again. But Simple Chris is definitely very, very feisty at the start of a virtual safety car ending. At an end of the virtual
isn't he?
safety car, sorry.
He's non-stop. Yeah, he's non-stop, isn't he? But he's running out of ERS, that's the only problem, and he's going to try go up the inside of McLaren. Jeez, how do they not touch then as they come round turn 7? And they've got to be careful, they're still side by side just about. Sloppy Cop goes defensive through, then he's got to be careful, Chris, because if any mistakes, and Lightshock is going to be all over it, but Lightshock got his own problems. Stracker all over his behind, he tries to go down the inside coming into 7, but sorry, 8 down 9. God, can't keep a count of the corners here, but they are so close together, and any mistake here and they're going to lose a position, and that's what we love to see. He's so close right now with the drivers.
Oh, it is it's tantalisingly close. That's how close it is. I'm nicking that saying from I think FIFA 2019 or something. But anyway, Simple Chris and all the top 4. All this is doing is allowing the likes of Binary, Viper, Cam to get into it. Stracker now receives a 3-second time penalty. And the people who don't, as Master Swain has just made 2 overtakes in a lap, in half a lap, and he is flying on those mediums. He is not hanging around. He does not want to be the one that made the wrong strategy call, and to be honest, with the pace he's going, I don't think he is. As Lightshock has overtaken Simple Chris because of the pits.
Yep.
And I wonder if that means 10 laps. I wonder how far Swain will go, because I think he's got to go about 14 laps on each set of 13 laps, on each set of mediums, so he can't push those tyres too much.
The only thing, though, he needs to get past Binary before Binary pits. Otherwise, because they're both going to have to pit once more. So he needs to get past him before he passes the pit again. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck behind him, and he's going to have to overtake him on track properly when they're both up to speed. So that is one thing that Maswin has to keep in contention, and he's not that far behind now. He's only 4 or 5 seconds as he gets past Viper as well, who's just let him through actually. So Maswin on a mission up to 6th place now.
So Swain is pushing like there is no tomorrow. I know how much last week hurt him, so I know he wants to make amends this week. And I tell you what, even if he does crash out now, he's given us action. I wish I never said that now, because it could have been a commentator's curse. But he's really pulling away, and the battle's all out the field. And I think Turkey's made a mistake, which made it easy for Prophet Medi to overtake, as another penalty for Cam, who now sits in P3. So the first of the hard runners, as Sloppy Cop is into the pits, and Lightshock is going further on his mediums. I think these guys going onto the hards is this early it's a bit early, I think. I could be wrong. These hards can go a while, but Binary's not able to make a move on WR's Cam just yet. Now where did Sinful Chris come out? This is where we want to see it. He's trying to go up the inside of Turkey's now. Turkey's has no defence for the Alfa Romeo. And where is Sloppy Cop? Has he come out of the pits? It is the undercut for Sinful Chris, and now I think there's a car in between them as well, and Stracker's just behind Sloppy, so Sloppy lost out big time there.
crucially there, Sloppy's behind Turkey's, which I know you should get past him fairly easily, DRS open and on fresh tyres, but those small wins there for Chris is really what he needs. He does have a penalty, however, Gareth, so that's going to count against him, but there's still a long way left in this Grand Prix. But the fact he has a second over him after the pit stops is fantastic for the Alfa Romeo driver. And let's see where Lightshock comes out. Will he pit this lap, or will he go for another lap, and where he comes out with regards to the McLaren, the Renault and the Alfa Romeo in the next lap or so?
This is the big thing, is he's trying to save his hards towards the end of the race, but as Turkey's, I think, has made a mistake through the hairpin, turn 13, and he's just let Straka through because of it. But let's go on board with the lead. Well, I say the leaders, with the P2, P3 battle, because Master Swain is only a second and a half behind Niels, and I can't see Niels. Lightshock is in the pits.
Yeah, he's in the pits, and where the other guys come out is really key here. So keep an eye on Sinful Chris as he comes in the penultimate corner, just coming round now. I'll keep an eye on Sinful Chris as he comes around the final corner. Where will Lightshot come out? Has he done it? I think he has. He has. Both have done it.
Has Straka managed to get in front? Oh, he's not. That was close. A yellow flag in Sector 1. What's the yellow flag in Sector 1 for? What is the yellow flag in Sector 1 for?
Not sure at all. I think there's maybe some in the pits. Turkey's in the pits maybe. I don't know why he would be yellow flags there, but really not sure what's going on there.
Interesting development from Codemasters. The game is still broken. But we're in the middle section of the race, you could call it. And Binary nearly loses it. Oh, Binary's lost out to Niels, and Master Swain is all over the back of that Ferrari, and this is exactly what Master Swain needs, and we do not see that kind of mistake very often from the Ferrari driver at all. I think maybe once a season, but now we've seen it once in 2 races, because he made a mistake and lost his front wing, part of it at Monaco. Now, is this the signs of pressure, seeing Master Swain so close behind him?
I see that red facade of the Ferrari starting to crumble here potentially, Gareth. And Binary's going to have to go mega defensive, park the bus scenario here. Because if Master Swain gets past now, he's gone. Those medium tires are still fresh, almost only halfway through. So Master Swain needs to get past Binary, defend of his life here.
And I think I'll keep this battle going. Niels pitting has not helped Binary at all. Let's see what the traction between the two of these guys is like. Swain nearly losing it, but using all the track he can, which I think is actually helping. Just keep in touch with Binary at those slower sections. But here he comes then. Does he have enough in the tank to go up the inside? Will he have a look? No, he doesn't. He sits behind. But I suppose at this point it's not that much of a problem. Binary made a mistake again, and Swain up the inside into turn 7 turn 9. Binary's trying to fight it, but he can't. I think Swain has got it into the old Singapore sling, and Swain is up into P2, and a fair few more penalties coming through as I've got the HUD back. But that is exactly what the Red Bull driver wanted and needed, and he's going to have a few laps to try and build a small gap, but we know how important the undercut is at this track. Yeah,
great move from Master Swain there. Sloppy's got past Sinful Chris as well, so Sloppy got retaking the provisional lead in this Grand Prix further back. We know we're concentrating on the Master Swain Binary battle, but Master Swain, like I said, crucial as he got past there. And Binary, he's struggling on his hard tyres, isn't he? He's all over the shop. He's oversteering left, right and centre. So when Binary comes in, I don't know, but that's not what he wanted. Master Swain already has over a second on the Ferrari, so that's perfect for the Red Bull driver.
Maybe a few momentary lapse for Binary, but it could cost him huge in this race. And look how quick I mean, to be honest, should Hards really be struggling this much at lap 14? Because Cam isn't really pushing hard either, and Swain's already made the move through 6, cuts across back perfectly in line for 7, and he's in the lead of this Grand Prix for the time being. He knows he has to make another pit stop, but Sloppy Cop then up the inside and tries a switch back on Prophet Meaty, tries a switch back, but his hards, his mediums are starting to fade a little bit, and I wonder what the cutover will be and how much work Swain has to do to get back up into a podium position, because there's 4 cars fighting away for the provisional lead without him.
I was about to mention that, the fact that what Swain's got to push as hard as he can now, because once he pits, he will likely be behind these 4. But of course, he will be on quick, fresh tyres. So he's going to have to battle his way through, and it's not an easy circuit to overtake. I mean, it's easier than Monaco, or, you know, I mean, Azerbaijan a little bit easier, but it's still a difficult circuit to overtake. So Matt Swain is going to have to be going as hard as he can, because of course this battle is raging on, and they're not going to lie down and let him past, not in the slightest. You know how these drivers race in this league, and they're really going to give us a show in the latter stages of this Grand Prix, and I can't wait.
It's going to be crazy, and well, just crazy stuff for the end. It's brilliant to say that we're only halfway through a street track and we're got this much action in, and Binary's having difficulties overtaking WRS Cam, even with DRS and ERS assistance, and Sloppy is not far off this battle at all. So if they're not careful, they're going to be a full pit stop. Well, Binary and Cam are going to be a full pit stop behind the effective race leader.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, they've got to be. If they, it's difficult here, and they're both struggling on those hard tyres. I mean, Binary more than Cam, I feel. I mean, looking at their cars, at least Binary is that back end is stepping out a lot more than Cam. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what they're going to do in their shoes now. I mean, they could pit now, but they're not really going to gain any places, and that group for the lead is catching them up now. You can see Sloppy Cup's time to Binary is dropping fairly quickly now, so that gap is reducing, and it's one hell of a battle going to commence with these 2 boys with the provisional race leaders.
Now, that yellow flag a few laps ago was a retirement of EOL Viper. We've been that busy that we've missed the retirement of EOL Viper.
Wow.
Sorry, Viper. We always have nice words to say about you, but everything that is going on in this race has just wiped you from our memory. I know that sounds harsh. Wiped him from our memory. That does work, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Into the pits then is Prophet Meaty, and is he going onto a set of mediums? He's got to go onto a set. Hards would be a really odd call if he does. Pinger's then up to P8 on his 10-lap-old mediums. I mean, he's having a quiet race, is the AlphaTauri second driver, as Binary still staying on board with Binary all over the back of Sinful Chris. Oh, as Lightshot goes around the outside of Sinful Chris, those 2 touch wheels slightly, and Sinful Chris has to concede the position. And Sinful Chris is dropping down the order a little bit now, but I think Lightshot has seen the pace of Sloppy and thought he has to actually, well, try and keep up with that, or otherwise this is looking like a McLaren victory. But Binary's still struggling, and he's nearly lost it coming through the hairpin. And poor Binary, he's really struggling for grip out there at the moment.
He is, isn't he? Yeah, even though he's done a lot of laps on those hards. I mean, he's going to be coming in sooner rather than later with 14 laps remaining here in Singapore. But Sloppy Cop now is catching, and one note, he has got 2 seconds to Lightshock now, which is really key, especially with Matt Swain Will pitting soon as well. Binary gets pitted as well, which is not ideal at all as he comes into the pits.
Yeah, he went into the pits and just overshot it and that is not ideal for the Ferrari driver. He's got a lot of work to do to get those mediums to the end, and he knows he's got 3 seconds to master Swain. I think it was 4 seconds, sorry. He's got 4 seconds to catch, to make sure he gets out ahead of Master Swain, and I know Swain is going to go at least an extra lap or 2. It's very, very possible he can do that. But it's 8 seconds roughly between Swain and Sloppy, so that time hasn't dropped at all, really, since Swain overtook Cam. So we're looking at Swain coming out P9-ish, I think, is P9, P10, with the current strategy involved, I think.
Yeah, the only concern for Binary is the fact that Madman and Niels don't need a pit again. So he's got to overtake them on track rather than pits. Pingers is going to have to come in again as Cam, as Swain do. But of course, Swain and Cam have nothing to do with Binary really, because they should be able to get out ahead. Maybe Cam might struggle, but he's got to overtake guys who are on fresh tyres, which is going to be a struggle. And then he's got to overtake the leading group of Sloppy Cop, Lightshock, Chris and Stracker. So Binary's got his own plate full of things to do, as well as Master Swain. So, Binary's got his plate full.
It's interesting that we're at this stage, round 10, and we're already talking about this 5-second time penalty for Cam. But we're already talking about title fights and mainly talking about Binary and Master Swain when they're not even in the lead of this race. As Swain is in pits. He's coming out of the... He's going to do a long old couple of laps on the mediums. Where is Binary? He's way behind. And he sees the Red Bull just ahead. It's 1.4 seconds. So actually, Swain probably did the right thing about pitting when he did, because he would have been behind.
Yeah, good job from Swain then. I'm interested to see now, yellow flags in Sector 2, someone's made a mistake, but I'm interested to see, they're both as another VSE, that's the third one we've had in this Grand Prix, but they've got a front wing at the exit of turn 7, it looks like, so someone's made a mistake there. But interesting though, they're both on the same tyre. We haven't seen them on the same tyre at the same time, so let's see what Binary can actually do when they're both matching here in the last 12 laps of this Grand Prix. I'm interested to see what Binary can do on a nicer set of tyres, because he's been on those hards for a long old time here in Singapore.
He will have a lap old extra tyres. Is that Xbox Nuthead retiring from the session?
Yeah.
And that is gutting for the Ferrari driver. And I feel for him, because that is, I know how hard he tries to produce here, and but it hasn't stated that Binary has done a lap on his mediums yet, even though he came in the lap before Master Swain, so that's an odd glitch to have. But a prediction from Viper in the chat is Sloppy to take victory, Lightshock second, and Swain third. That is very possible. That is the case, and Swain has already made a move on Niels to P6. It's exactly what he needs, is quick, decisive action. But everyone's going to have really bad tyres at the end of this Grand Prix.
And also, Swain's got to catch up 15 seconds to Sloppy, as well as overtake all the drivers who are fighting for that win. So Swain, it's going to be a mission, but I wouldn't put it past him. I really wouldn't, because he is a quick driver when he needs to be. And no penalties, ever.
Yeah, the day he gets a penalty, the day the hell freezes over, I think. Maybe not that harsh, but, you know, it's similar. I'm just going to look at the battle for the lead, because it is a four-way battle. Swain's got a lot of work to do to catch up with that, but with those four battling away, and Swain effectively should be able to... I mean, Binary's not been able to catch Niels in the sense that Swain had. So, yeah, interesting to say, I think, what Swain is 1.3 behind Madman. I'll go on board with that in a second. But the top 4 starting to split between first and second and third and fourth now.
Yeah, they seem to be like an accordion. They come together and they go away again. It's a bit annoying, really. It's I like them all pressed together because they're all in their own DRS train. But Sinful Chris struggling a little bit now, and Stracker is looking racy behind him as they come around turn 5 for the 21st time. But Lightshock's looking racy as well, but I don't think he's close enough. But Stracker is as they come towards turn 7. Can he do anything on the outside? Late lunge from the Renault, and he's gone deep. Does he make that move stick? Yes, he does, off the circuit, but just about. Great move from Stracker, using the inner Daniel Ricciardo, but then Simple Chris is up the inside once again, but that's not where you overtake coming through turn 9. So Stracker finally up into P3, and will it be another podium for the Renault man? But of course, he might have a penalty. I know Chris has got penalties. Whether Stracker does, we'll have to wait and see. But Lightshock again looking pretty close to Sloppy Cup up in the lead.
So they are, that Stracker move has cost them 2 seconds to the lead, and it's given Swain, who now has overtaken Madman down the, I think it's Boulevard Straight or whatever it's called. Down where turn 6 is, and he's now in fresh air, 10 seconds, and Binary is still in P8 currently. And it's going to be interesting to see how penalties pan all this out at the end. Pingers has got a hard slog. He's got 20 seconds till the next car in front of him, and he was one of the others that started on softs at the start of the race. So apparently Binary has no left front wing. He is, Profit Media is all over the back of him, and he's going to lose out. Or is he? They're side by side through 1 and 2. Binary was not going to give any room to Profit there. He was determined to keep a hold of that position. And WRS Cam, and there's going to be a little bit of a train down here.
Yeah, it looks like, but luckily Binary's got DRS, and he's going to be struggling massively here now with half a front wing, and I think potentially he's going to lose. He's going to finish in 10th. Pinger's a little bit too far behind, but Binary, he's got his own train to deal with now, and he is struggling. Even his thing is he's still quick regardless of having half a front wing, but he's going to struggle with Profit Media and Cam looking mega racy behind.
But could this be vital? The difference between Binary and Swain could end up being these 2 races where Swain crashed out of Monaco and Binary kept in it to get a couple of points at Singapore. Could it come down to that? We'll obviously we'll know the answer to that question in 13-14 weeks time when the season is finished, but there's a long way to go, and this battle now for P7 is really heating up. Actually, P6, because Madman has been caught by Niels, so it's a 5-car battle to decide who's going to get those points at the end. And Swain is now 7 seconds to Sinful Chris. Where has 13 seconds gone?
Mad. It shows sometimes we underestimate Swain, but he can put the laps in when he needs to. We call him Mr. Consistent because he never gets penalties, like we've already said, and when he needs to, he can put his foot down.
And it's really heating up between Profit Media and the Ferrari of Binary, and Profit is desperate to get past the Ferrari, but it's just not happening. No, everywhere he puts the car, Binary's got an answer to it at the moment, and big disappointment as Cam receives another time penalty, and plenty going on, and Strack is slowly eking in the gap to Lightshock and Sloppy. I know it was 3 seconds when he overtook Sinful Chris, but going back onto Master Swain, and I know you say Mr. Consistent. Oh, I know we say it, and I agree with your point. Yeah, I think we do underestimate his out and out pace at times. Yeah,
we do, and it's good to show that he's showing us what he can actually do here. When the pressure's on, he can pull out the bag, and still 8 laps to go. This race is not over by the smallest. It's still there. He could still win this race if he keeps on going at his current rate. And there's that fight, and then you've got the fight behind Madman, which is really heating up now. They're neck and neck fighting for the P7 as Chris is into the pits.
So Sinful Chris pits. He's not happy on those hards. Is there damage to the front wing at all? Have we got... There is a front wing change as well, so Sinful Chris is struggling, and he's down to P10 now. And what an unfortunate race for Sinful Chris. Definitely a race of what could have been for him, but there's still plenty of time left at this race, and I don't think being 10th is going to... Okay, 11th is going to dishearten him too much, because he knows he's got the pace underneath him, especially in those mediums. He was really rapid. But Straka is catching. The battle for the leaders, between the leaders, is forcing Strakas to catch up. And with the way Swain is going...
definitely.
I'll leave that in your hands.
Well, I'm trying to concentrate on that battle, but the fight between Binary and Prophet Media is really amazing. They're glued together coming through Sector 2. God. How Binary has still managed to keep him behind is amazing. I just don't... How he just puts the car in the perfect position on every single corner. I don't know how he does it.
It's incredible stuff at the moment, especially with no end plates on the left-hand side. I'm not sure how he lost that, whether anyone... I see yellow flag in Sector 2. Is that a retiree? I'm going to go on board with Simple Chris, see if that's more front wing damage to the... There is... Oh, there's a massive chunk of wing missing from Simple Chris, and what has happened to him? Is there any damage to Pingers? There's no damage to Pingers. I don't think he was that close to have any issues between the two of them, but what an unfortunate turn of events for Alfa Romeo. Let's go on board with his teammates.
Up at the front, Gareth Lightshot come around the outside of Sloppy Cop, and he takes the lead of this Grand Prix with 6 laps remaining. Great move on the outside of turn 7, and he's up into the lead of the Grand Prix.
Why is there so much stuff going on? Because Prophet Media has just managed to find a way through, and is Neil's got a way through on Madman? He does. So Niels now takes P5, or does he? Does just. And look at the train. What can Niels do? Can he pull away from this and cause problems behind us? WRS Cam going around up the inside into the Singapore sling on Binary. No, he pulls out in the end, and I think this is what's going to help Binary out. It's the fact of the cars in front of him have got penalties. And up the inside of the hairpin has Cam gone.
Wow. Jeez, just about made it. Bit of a dodgy move there, but he's got past Binary. Binary won't be happy, but God, you don't see him move into there. I don't think I've ever seen him move into turn 13.
That's mental. And we've got a little bit of our own Ted Kravitz going on in the chat box, which is nice. Straka has a penalty and 2 warnings, and Lightshock and Swain only have warnings. I'm not sure about what Sloppy is like at the moment. But Swain now 3.3 seconds behind Straka, close to being in that penalty range. But then he's pulled 12 seconds in 6 laps to the guys behind him. That is an incredible amount of pace by the Red Bull driver.
Oh, it's phenomenal how he's managed to do that. I'll never know. As Binary's in the pits, I think he's given up now, and he's going to finish. Oh, actually, no, he will finish in the points because Gunhead is 37 seconds behind. So Binary will still get a point, and you think he's going for a fast lap as well, potentially Gareth. So he'll get 2 points, but Swain less than 3 seconds behind Straka now. Oh, it's getting close with 5 laps left. Can Swain take the win, or will he miss out to one of the other guys? That's what I'm looking for. And that top 3 are getting closer again, which is great to see.
Yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. Apparently Sloppy's only got 2 warnings, and there we go. Straka is on 3, another penalty for Straka. So the pressure is clearly telling to the Renault driver, and his teammate is all over the back of Profit Media, and this is incredible stuff. Binary's, he's got to make sure he gets that fastest lap, because Sinful Chris is there on a set of softs as well. That is going to be an interesting story if Sinful Chris manages to get the fastest lap and knocks points off the point off of Binary for that. Swain is within 2 seconds of Straka, and Straka is starting to fall away from the guys ahead, and I wonder how much Straka will defend Swain behind.
Yeah, good point actually. Whether Straka lets him breeze past and maybe trying to slow down the other guy so he can catch up himself, I don't know. I'm interested to see what Straka does now. Swain within a second of the Renault, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel now, because Straka is he's struggling on those hard tyres, and with those penalties as well, Matt Swain should gobble him up pretty easily.
We saw this about 10 laps ago, maybe a little bit earlier than that, when Swain was charging down Viper, Binary and WRS Cam, and he's doing the same again with these hard runners. And come on, give me a good camera angle. Sinful Chris there gets the fastest lap of the race to start things off with then. Binary, over to you. It's like a bidding war, isn't it? But Swain, I'm sure, can see the McLaren of Sloppy just ahead of everything, as Prophet Media's finally got Madman's got no front wing. Where did that happen? Madman has no front wing, and he's... I feel sorry for Madman. That was probably going to be his best finish of the race, and that could give Binary an extra position, which will give him the 2 points if Sinful Chris doesn't let him have the fastest lap of the race. But Sloppy all over the back of Light Shock again, and I probably should go on board with Straka and Master Swain, because I don't think this is going to take long for Swain, to be honest. Down through into 5. Is he going to go around the outside and then the outside of 6 and the inside of 7? And that is an easy overtake, really, in the grand scheme of things. And he's got 3 seconds to catch up with the leaders, and 3.5 laps remaining, and 3 laps to go. We've seen Swain do 3 seconds in a lap and a half on this track, so it's still got a chance to win this Grand Prix. This is incredible stuff to end on, and WRS Cam is still all over the back of Profit Media as well, and Swain could bring Straka along as well.
Yeah, I think Straka's going to try his best. I mean, he does have a lot more penalties than the other drivers, so he's in it for the giggles, really, because he knows he's going to drop back further than the other drivers. And the other drivers will know, of course, because Jeff does tell you about the other penalties that other drivers have. So he's going to try it anyway. But Sloppy and Lightshock can Sloppy get past Lightshock as well? That's because we don't know Sloppy penalties. Can he do anything to get past the AlphaTauri before Swain comes in and trying to take the lead off them both with, was it 3.4 seconds in 3 laps? It's tight, but we've seen it before.
We've seen many a crazy thing. And Profit Media receives a 3-second time penalty, so that is down in the battle for P6. Pingers then P8, that's a good position for Pingers to be in, but I will go on board with the leaders then, going through turns 7 and 8 for the 29th time. Singapore is notoriously long. These guys, I am sure, are going to be absolutely sweating, but I think Swain has run out of a little bit of puff because he's not able to catch these guys, and maybe Sloppy and Lightshock have got themselves a little deal that they will just wait till the last lap and battle it out there, just to make sure Swain doesn't get close to them and they both lose out. But it's absolutely crazy stuff, and Well, all it takes is Sloppy and Lightshock to make a mistake and they get penalties. Anything could happen still. And I'm sure Swain is still pushing those medium compound tyres to the bitter end. But at the moment, it's looking like Lightshock could take victory.
Yeah, Master Lake said Swain has run out of steam, it looks like. But as his tyres go off, of course, Lightshock's and Sloppy Cop's tyres are going off at the same time. Yellow Flags in sector number 2. Who's made a mistake? It looks like Madman has made another mistake. He's gotten still no front wing. I don't know whether he pit or not. No, he hasn't. He's just kept on going on this without a front wing, actually. Fair play to him. I give him props for that. He's going incredibly slow. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's almost at the barrier once again. It's going to just get past him pretty easily. But with 2 laps remaining, Masrain, yeah, he's not closing that gap. He's really struggling.
He's probably pushed those tyres to an inch of their life, to be honest. And just to get to this position, but to get onto the podium is an incredible job, to say the least, to be honest, for the Red Bull driver. Completely, so many different strategies going on. It was always going to be difficult, but let's go on board with Sloppy and Lightshock. Sloppy is trying. It does look like Sloppy's trying at certain areas just to get as close as he can, but I think Lightshock's just got the measure of him over a lap.
I think so, but if you can get within that 4/10 gap on the second DRS straight, he's got a chance here. We've seen plenty of moves into turns 6 and 7, so he might have a chance, but he is slower in this last sector than the AlphaTauri, and he does struggle to keep up with him in these tight corners, so he's going to have to try something really nice to try and overtake him, and he goes a little bit wide there as well, so he is struggling. They've done a lot of laps as Neil's got a penalty, and they're on the final here. 7/10 splits first and second.
So the last time for the streets of Singapore, the 31st and last time these guys will have to endure probably one of the toughest tracks on the circuit. Just mentally, the amount of corners, the length of the track, it is not easy. But Swain is maybe too little too late, but he's 2.8 seconds behind Sloppy. So adding just that little bit of extra spice and pressure to Sloppy to make sure he doesn't pick up another warning to get that penalty. That would be heartbreaking for him on the last lap, but I don't think Sloppy's going to be able to do anything to the AlphaTauri of Lightshock. Lightshock looking like he's going to take his second victory, and that was back in the race we didn't commentate on back in round 3. So it's nice to see Lightshock just get back to normal ways, as Pingers has Pingers made a mistake because Binary's overtaken him. I didn't think Binary could catch 16 seconds in 4 laps, but he's done an absolutely cracking job if he has done that. I suppose Pingers is on 11 lap or older mediums. So that's possibly 8th then for Binary, but it's looking like it should be all about this man. Lightshock then taking victory in the night of Singapore with Sloppy second. Master Swain comes home in P3 with Straka R11 in P4 for the Renault after a strong performance at Monaco. I would say an equally strong performance at Singapore, just without the win. Here comes Niels then. Niels 998 for his highest position of the season to date in P5. P6 is his profit median WRS cam, and the Racing Point Racing Point has crashed as well of Turkey's. Binary then coming home. Will he take fastest lap? He will not, and he will take P7. No, he won't. He will come home in P8 still. Pingers comes home in P7 for penalties, and WRS Cam down in P9 because of the amount of penalties he received. Sinful Chris, I feel so sorry for this. For the guy, it comes home in P10, but it could very well have been a victory, and I think I might have jinxed him at the beginning of the race, and Gunhead flies through there. Your driver of the day?
Whoa. I wouldn't. Let me have. Oh, I don't know actually. I didn't see who made up the most positions. I didn't see that at the end. I'd say Master Swain, but he lost from a leading position, so I wouldn't say Master Swain. I really don't know. Let me have a think. I'll get back to you.
I don't know either, to be honest. It's absolutely crazy. But let's go through the order. It's Light Shock that takes victory for the second time this season, starting on 4th on the grid. Great drive from the AlphaTauri driver. And Sloppy Cop, joint second highest position of the season, I believe. Oh no, it is his first podium of F1. So great drive from the McLaren driver, coming home in P2. Master Swain then on the podium yet again. He's only not finished on the podium 3 times this season. 3 times this season, and one of them was the last time out. Neil's Straka R11 coming home in P4. Neil's 998 in P5. Prophet Meady then in P6 for the Williams driver. It probably would have wanted a bit better, but still a good recovery drive, I think is the best way to describe that after pitting early on those softs. F1XL Pingers then a P7 for the AlphaTauri sister driver of Light Shock. Binary P8, WRS Cam in P9, and Sinful Chris rounding out the top 10 point scoring positions and getting fastest lap of the race in the process. Gunhead, Family Guy and Madman and Turkeys all finished. However, we did lose Xbox Nuthead, ERL Viper, SF Pred, and Jolly. Now, have you? I think I'm going to give it to Light Shock, but like 0.1.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there.
0.1 above Swain, because they both did incredible jobs on track. 2 different styles. No words really. What a crazy race, and we'll try and get them in for podium questions. We'll just wait for I've lost. Light Shock has left the of course he has. That means I have to run through the... Oh, he's joined anyway. There we go. So I'll hand over to you, Ollie, for your podium questions for tonight's race.
Yeah, let's...
Hello. Sorry.
Light Shock, you must be over the moon with that win. As well, we got Gaz,
yes.
Leclerc or Gasly celebration there. But
Gasly.
yeah, you must be over the moon with winning here, and it's such a difficult circuit as well at Singapore.
Yeah, I have good memories of Singapore. Actually, it was actually the place I got my first ever F1 victory in F1XL. So I knew I'd be quick here, but then I also knew that some other people would definitely be quick, having commentated on his glory. Is everyone still here? Oh, you were disconnected for a second.
We're still back. Yeah.
But obviously, having commentated on his glorious win in F2 last season, I knew Sloppy was going to be dangerous here because he loves this place, and by God, I mean his quali lap was half a second faster than mine, and I didn't think mine was that bad at all. But in terms of the race, I knew I've always usually been stronger in races than quali. I'm very much a marathon driver than a sprint driver. It was a tense opening stint with Straka right behind me, Chris ahead of me, and Sloppy as well leading, and then I believe Chris got the undercut on him. I went longer than any of the other 4, just avoided being undercut by Straka, which was crucial. And then what happened to Chris happened, which is absolutely, I'm gutted for him because he's on a pad, and this is normally not a very good track for the pad, but he was fantastic today, and he definitely deserved to be up there with me and Sloppy and Stracker, I feel. So I feel gutted for Chris. In terms of me, going a little longer on the mediums, I think helped me later on. I was able to push a little harder on the hards. I had a couple of opportunities on Sloppy. One didn't quite work. The second one, I had to make sure it worked. And then the rest of the race was basically just holding him back, because I didn't think I'd be able to pull away from him, to be honest. With Master Swain somehow making that two-stop strategy work, I didn't really want to pull away from Sloppy, just in case he got onto the back of us. I was content to let Sloppy stay by me and just kind of manage it from the last few laps. And yeah, this was a needed victory for me after some of the disappointments I've had. Obviously, my last win was Abu Dhabi, so
yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? And I mean, you've got 2 podiums in Bahrain and Spain, but it's not the same as staying on that top spot. I mean, of course, it's great for you as well. I mean, you managed to beat your championship rivals, Stracker, Binary, and Max Swain all above you at the moment. I mean, how difficult was it with those tyres at the end? I mean, you did a lot of laps on those hard tyres.
I can't be honest, the hards actually didn't feel too bad at the end. I actually had been leaning towards the two-stop before doing some practice earlier, but then when I went on the hards, I actually found they weren't obviously going to be the fastest tyre around, but they were very solid and very consistent. The pace didn't really feel like it ever dropped, and it was that stint on the hards that swung me towards doing the one-stop strategy. Originally, I had been planning to do the two-stop, which Swain obviously did, and well, he made very good use of it to come third. But yeah, originally I hadn't planned on doing the one-stop, but the hards turned out to be actually fairly competent tyre. Not quick, but very stable and dependable, I think is the best word to describe it. And yeah, I was just able, you could push them and a little bit of sliding here and there, but they were a good tyre, and yeah, it was not too bad at the end, to be honest.
Yeah, it all worked out for you in the end, and it's good to have you back on top spot here in F1XL. Well, congratulations on winning, and also
Thank
our
you.
driver of the day as well. But let's talk to the man who finished in P number 2, Sloppy Cop. We haven't seen you up on the podium this year yet, so it's welcome. How was that race for you?
Yeah, I mean, my quali was good and I was feeling confident going into qualifying. And then that lap kind of gave me an extra boost. I do feel like I could have gone quicker because I did make a few mistakes, but in the race, for me, it was just, I knew that everyone behind me was going to be quicker than me in race pace, so for me it was just about controlling my lap times and just trying to do the best I could and just defending for my life, yeah.
And for those who don't know, how difficult is it to race around the circuit, and especially neck because of course you're with Lightshock, Chris and Stracker all within millimeters of each other. How difficult was it to race with those guys, and when it's of course like in Singapore as well?
Well, it's very tense. I mean, one mistake and you're out, basically. You're out of the fight, so you had to be perfect every single lap, and the amount of concentration it took, just wow. But yeah, it's super tough to do it, but it's super clean racing as well. There's no like silly dive bombs or anything. Yeah,
we saw it was a great battle of seeing you full race away, at the start and the mid pack of the mid part of the race. But congratulations on your first podium this season. It's good to have you, and hopefully it continues. But let's talk to the championship leader, the man who finished in P3, Master Swain. You must be happy with that sort of recovery drive, let's call it, after sort of a poor start from you and having to pit quite early after those soft tyres.
Yeah, well, congrats to Lightshock for his win and Sloppy for his first podium. They drove really well. But yeah, the start wasn't ideal. Yeah, I was just got too much wheel spin off the start, and it was sloppy and sinful, went straight past me. And at that point, I was like, well, it's it is what it is. I can't take that back. Just gotta get my head down and try and make this work, because Fair play. I will say this. Fair play to I think it was Sloppy and Lightshock. They did a bit of like mind games in quali and went out on the softs to begin with. Didn't do a lap and then came back in and went out on the mediums.
It was always the
and
plan.
I will
Yeah,
fully
just
admit that got me.
yeah.
That got me hook, line, and sinker. But yeah, I would say as well, it was surprising. Shout out to Viper, Turkeys, and I think Xbox Nuthead, because they just kind of like moved out of the way and let me pass. I don't know whether they just wanted to race their own race and not get embroiled in the battle with me, but that massively helped me.
Yeah,
Live.
we could see you were sort of on a mission after you picked for those medium tires. You were on head down. It was almost like you were on rails at times, and I think you crucially got past Binary, who of course is trying to hunt you down in the championship as well. And of course, after last week's disappointment in Monaco, getting a good result here must feel great.
Yeah, I can't complain really. Feels amazing to be back on the podium after what happened in Monaco. Very lucky with Binary. I think he made a mistake. I think he clipped the inside of the hairpin in sector 2, and that just enabled me to set him up and get past him quite easy. And then I was to be honest, I was quite surprised that I was managed to get around there. I touched the wall like once or twice, but I was quite happy I didn't get a penalty or anything like that, and just happy overall with how I drove.
Yeah, it's good to have you back on the podium, and it extends your championship lead over Binary as well. So that's good to see. But congratulations to Lightshock, Sloppy Cop, and Master Swain on their podiums. It's been another excellent race in Singapore, and I'll hand it back to Gareth to round off the stream.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to the top 3. What an incredible race we had, and we wouldn't have had it without those guys. And we'll move on to next week's race, which is the Hungarian Grand Prix. And just before that, we will have the extra show on Wednesday, where we'll run down this race and the other 3 leagues in our league, in our site, and we'll hope to see you there. And whether to see if someone actually gets the 5 faces of hell correct or not. But for now, from us, we will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.